Alright, let's check on my city. Oh. Cities Skylines is a city builder game that was released for PC, Mac, and Linux in March of 2015 by Colossal Order, who have previously made the transport-centric Cities in Motion series. Unlike previous games in the series, Skylines is a full-fledged city building game. Your job is to manage everything from pollution and traffic to zoning and budget. The good. This game is what SimCity 5 should have been. It's friendly and inviting to newcomers to the genre, but still has enough meat on its bones to keep veterans entertained. The game features a substantial amount of content with a rewarding unlock system and even achievements if you're into that kind of thing. Skylines does have a bit of a learning curve to it, but it offers enough information along the way to help players out. For instance, if you have abandoned buildings in your city, you can hover over the abandoned building icon to see why the building was abandoned to clue you in on how to address the issue. This is really one of the best things this game does. It gives you enough information to help your city strive. Too many people getting sick? You can check the healthcare availability in your city. The best part about all this is that it doesn't hinder the gameplay, make it too easy or simple. Using the previous scenario as an example, you still need to make sure that medical coverage in your city has enough of a budget, make sure that traffic isn't too congested or else the ambulances can't get to the patients, and you need to make sure you aren't polluting the drinking water or ground around the residents. Your city needs to be a finely tuned, well-oiled machine, and the game gives you enough tools to do so without just mindlessly telling you what to do. I had a fantastic time managing all of these systems, making sure there's enough electricity and that trash is getting picked up, placing new basketball courts and parks for citizens to utilize, and of course, making the layout of the city visually appealing but keeping it functional. Skyline's progression system really helps the game flow. When you start the game, you have one single square, and filling it takes time. By the end of the game, you can have filled up to 9 squares, with mods allowing up to 25. The better you get at managing the city, the quicker you can fill a square properly and expand even further. There's also an unlock system based on population. Create a city with X number of citizens, and you can earn access to new unlocks like the high-density residential and office zones, or possibly a new solar power plant. These unlock systems help push the player to strive for bigger and better cities. But all of these systems can't hide the bad. Shut up! Shut up! Ever want annoying and repetitive tweets to tell you your wrongdoings? Cities Skylines has exactly what you want. The in-game Chirper feature. Citizens in your city can chirp complaints, or compliments even, to Chirper and give you updates that can give you insight onto how they feel. Sadly, this system gets quite annoying as floods of chirps come in saying everything you've seen about 500 times before. The system is also extremely redundant because you can use other tools in the game to see what your city needs. The worst part about this is your citizens are liars. Many times I've seen chirps claiming that the drinking water is bad, only to see that sewage treatment is immaculate. Thankfully, you can turn Chirper off, but it's on by default. The game is also single player only. I would have loved to build my city next to a friend's city and trade between them, but I suppose it's better than always online DRM. I also found myself turning off the in-game music, as I found it was boring and generic. I'd recommend getting a playlist organized before you start playing the game. Another annoyance with this game is bulldozing. Many times your buildings will burn down, or will be abandoned and you must bulldoze them. As your city grows, more buildings and more areas will need to be bulldozed. This task becomes boring and meaningless. Scrolling all the way across your city to bulldoze, just to scroll back to the other side to bulldoze, is an annoying hassle. I'd highly recommend downloading the automatic bulldozing mod for this game, as it alleviates this hassle. I hope eventually this mod becomes an official feature in-game, much like the Remove Film Grain mod did. Speaking of film grain, it's time to talk about The Ugly, where I discuss the game's graphics. Cities Skylines is a completely passable game on a graphical level. Many of the buildings look rather nice when bunched together and zoomed out, but zoom in and everything starts to look a little bland. I much prefer the look of SimCity 5, where everything almost looked like a toy city. Assets in Skyline look too much like low-detail versions of realistic buildings and features. Some graphical effects are available in Skylines, like a tilt shift that can make everything around your view have a depth of field effect, or a simple film grain effect. These look great for screenshots, but I prefer to have them all for the game. They can be adjusted with an in-game slider found in the menus. One thing Skylines does really well is pollution effects. If you pollute water too much, it'll turn a different color, trees will start to die, and the soil around the pollution will be useless. All of these look really nice, and are important if you want your city to look pretty. Cities Skylines is a fantastic city building game, and is absolutely what SimCity 5 should have been. The game is highly addictive, and kept me entertained for about 20 hours or so far, and countless more to come. Skylines also has Steam Workshop support, with a great modding community and a supportive developer who will listen to the community's needs. So expect more great things to come down the pipeline. At $30 US, this is a steal of a game. If you have been looking for a fun new city builder game, this is it. If you're looking to get into the genre, this is it. Now for the rating. On a scale of 1 being always online DRM and 10 being Simcopter, Cities Skylines gets a Mr. Right out of 10.